Hello, Spookyfam. Welcome back to Chamber of Horrors. I'm Mercy Desdemona, and in tonight's episode, we are going to be covering Girl in Cabin 13, which was a film recommended to me by Spooky Catbee. So, yeah, before we get into it, if you are a fan of horror films, true crime, weird theories, and you're basically the weird kid grown into weird adult, consider subscribing and joining the Spooky Fam. And yeah, let's get into tonight's picture. Tonight's picture is basically a simple plot. An influencer and her boyfriend go into a cabin in the woods for a vacation, and they're stalked by these three killers. A very simple plot, typical slasher plot. The only thing that I feel like they could have done though is when you look this up, some people call it a psychological horror, and I don't feel it is that way, simply because the writing isn't deep enough. When you get into the story, it's just this random influencer. There's no buildup of who she is, what kind of influencer is she. Is she somebody worth stalking or kidnapping for ransom, or did she piss somebody off and that's why the killers are after? You really get no background. There's no guessing on who these people are. Like, like in some slashers, these people go to a small town and it's like, oh man, that gas station attendant was kind of weird, or that person was kind of weird. You're like, oh, maybe it was so and so. You don't really get that with this film, and I think that's where it was lacking. I did like the jabs that were like low-key there. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but the jabs towards influencers and their annoying habits. The girlfriend is always like taking so many selfies or taking pictures of her food, or every 15 seconds stopping, taking a video, posing for this, posing for that. So that was kind of funny, but I feel like we're kind of missing a little bit of background information. We don't know who these people are, and to me it's like, why would these people waste their time with somebody if their influence wasn't that big? We don't even know anything about them, so that could have been done a little bit better. Overall, the acting, I will give a 5 out of 10, which isn't that bad for indie films. But, because some parts the acting was okay, and then other parts you could tell it was, kind of cringy. But I give mad props to get a 5 out of 10, simply because they were believable as the people, and while some areas where, their lines might have been a little bit robotic and such, or a little bit cringy in the acting, like, for instance, the girl that played the influencer, when she had to act scared, it was very, I don't know, it wasn't believable. But overall, I think she did a really good job fitting into, the influencer persona. I would kind of give it, one of those just to put on films. It's not really shit, but it's not, okay, this is awesome. It's kind of like, you don't know what to watch, so you go through Tubi and you stumble upon it and you watch it. It's good enough to pass the time film, but I feel like it has a lot of potential to be much better than it was. Another thing is the killers. Okay, apparently they found out where they were. In the beginning of the film, they have people break into their house or something like that, and for some reason the cop is just like, hey, take a vacation, instead of taking their reports seriously. So it's weird. But anyway, the only reason why they found the location of them is because she, as influencers do, end up posting their location. Safety of the internet 101. Don't freaking do that. But anyway, annoying things influencers do. Anyway, somehow these guys found it, and again, they're after her for some reason, but they look too clean. Okay, now I understand budget constraints and stuff like that, because I myself am somebody that has to create with bare bones budget. But the killers were too clean. They're in jeans and hoodies, but there's nothing on them. Normally these killer guys, they look kind of grimy and stuff like that. And I remember when I was working on a photo shoot with a couple of ladies back when I first started doing special effects and stuff like that, we needed blood. but we really couldn't do it because the clothes we were wearing, a lot of the girls didn't want their stuff stained. So what I did was I found some dirt and some water and I made some mud and I splattered it with a paintbrush. Splattered it, did a good splat job on the clothing, and then when we went back in to like edit, we made it kind of look like blood. So there are like things you can do, and another thing is they were all wearing masks, but I would have done like some sort of makeup on the eyes to make them sink in a little bit more, just so like when they were trying to look menacing at the windows and the doors and stuff like that, it would actually look menacing. You know what I mean? Like sinking in the eyes and then having the mask. It would have looked really cool, and it would have done way more with the masks that were available. I feel like when it comes to indie films, a lot of times people are really too harsh, and I'm sometimes guilty of that too. But being a creator myself, where I have to basically like this stick is gonna turn into something soon. You guys are gonna see it soon. And I work with what I have. I kind of have like a little bit of understanding of what people were going for. There are simple things though, like there was this one scene where like the handyman or whatever, and I completely laughed because it was so out there. The killers are stalking the boyfriend and the girlfriend, and the handyman comes in to the scene late at night for some reason to check on stuff because that's exactly what handymen do. And he's listening to this weird banjo music, and and one of the masked guys is like looking at him like, what the fuck? I'm just gonna show you that little scene here. Go through here. I don't know if that was intentional or not. I do have to say, now you all know, if you've been following me for a while, that I am a big believer in how music tries to pull a story together. The ambient sounds that they attempted to use in the songs and the music stuff they tried to use in this film weren't half bad. I give an A for effort because a lot of times when I watch like indie movies and stuff like that, they don't even try to use any sort of music or sound effect or anything like that, or they'll just use the big Hollywood dun dun bullshit, and I don't like that. So trying to use whatever music was available and ambient sounds available, that was a good call. Let's see, what else? I have my notes here. I do apologize. What did I do? Okay, another thing too is like when they kill the man or like one of them's getting their faces bashed in, the blood is not on the killers. I don't understand this. They were too clean and too pristine. They kind of looked like the people around Halloween time at Walmart who go around at 3 a.m. wearing masks and just wreaking havoc, which is basically what me and my friends used to do. So, yeah, okay, people like me. But anyway, I think it was a good attempt. I think they could have been a little bit more menacing and creepy if we had known like a little bit, just a tiny bit of a backstory about what is going on. It kind of follows too simple of a premise. And I'm not saying it has to be like super complex either, but just a little bit added might have kept like alertness of the viewer, like, oh, we're trying to figure out who these slashers are. Because really it was so, I don't know, I wasn't driven to find out the mystery of who these people were, because I didn't have anything to go by, and I'm somebody who I really dig the psychological, I like the mystery, I like the creepy horror, weird shit, obviously you guys watch my channel, you know what I like. So it was a little bit let down that there was no build up, really. It's just we're following these people around and watching them get stalked. I do think, they have a good start here. This is the first one that I watched of them. I think Catbee told me it was DBS Studios. If I'm wrong, um, yeah, I will correct myself. She sent this to me. She's like, "Hey, I figured you would like to check this one out," so that's what I did. If you guys in the Spookyfam want to check it out, it's on Tubi. The link's in the description, and you guys can let me know what you think about it in the comments down below. Don't forget to keep your eyes peeled for Tuesday. We have a True Horrors, and on Thursday we are talking weird theories. And Lizzie Borden won this time, so we're gonna do weird theories on Lizzie Borden. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend and start of the week. Apparently, it's Sunday. I was supposed to post this Saturday, and then I had to refilm and edit, and here we are. So yeah, I hope you guys have a good one and stay spooky, stay creepy, and check out more indie films, please. Regardless, the good, the bad, the ugly, because let me tell you, sometimes you find some hidden gems in the indie world that will blow your mind. And Hollywood has gotten really boring, don't you think? Same old story, same old music, same old filming, same old this, same old that. It's time to give some creative people the attention. So, I'm rambling on. I gotta go make some no bakes. Bye!